Hello viewers, this is going to be the initial checkout of a very strange telephone. This is a Uniden 900 megahertz telephone. It's model DXI 896-2, but the reason this is odd is because this particular system came with 3 handsets. Now, I just don't quite understand how exactly this would work because, I don't know, it just doesn't really make any sense to me. So I'm going to connect all this up and see if these all these telephones do in fact work off of this one base. Now, I was informed by the person I bought this from that the handsets don't charge, and my guess is they simply need new batteries, because these batteries are getting fairly old. They're 2004, so I'm going to toss it out for the moment, and I'll put in a test battery. And I suspect these will come right to life, as they normally do. Well, this battery may not be charged up. Yep, there we go. I can see it's displaying handset 2 up at the top. Okay, so that's his low battery. I thought this battery was charged up. Clearly I was mistaken, and it is not charged up. So I'm going to pull out all these batteries, and I just want to see mainly what the numbers show up, if we actually do have one that shows up as handset 3. Okay, this says handset number 1. Okay. And this one says handset number 2. And this one says handset number 2. So what I'm thinking is that somewhere along the way some stuff got mixed up, and these telephones don't actually belong together, and the system itself is fairly indicative of this, because you'll see this handset has very little wear, whereas these two are worn smooth. So I'm going to say that there's absolutely nothing exotic about this telephone, and this one just has nothing to do with the system. Yeah, so semi-disappointing. I was hoping this was something kind of unique, but I guess it's just not. I don't know. My next curiosity is going to be, you know, can you actually register multiple handsets to this base? I mean, these don't register in the sense they're just analog telephones, and so really all it does is this base has a security code that it shares with the handsets. I don't know if it can share it with more than 2 handsets. Wish I had some better batteries. I think actually what I'm going to do is I'll put these batteries back in here and see if I get a charge up, because I don't really feel like going around and getting 3 brand new batteries out just to play with these telephones. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Plug these in down here. Oops. Now, I'm sure somebody is going to write in the comments claiming that you should not bang batteries on the table, and of course there'll be somebody who has no videos of a better way to fix them, but just want to prove that it does in fact fix the batteries, because you'll see this telephone, which was previously not taking a charge, is now taking a charge. Okay, so I've let these charge for a few minutes, and all the batteries are taking a charge now. And interestingly enough, look at this. They're all communicating with this base. And this just, I think I've proven my theory that this is nothing more than a typical -2 set, and somebody had that extra handset from somewhere. Because just out of curiosity, I grabbed another handset that I had that didn't come with the system, and I put it on the base for a few seconds, and you'll see that it too is interfacing just fine. And if I'm on a call here and I want to transfer it, they all ring. Now, in theory, it actually makes sense, and it's kind of interesting because I suppose, technically speaking, you could probably expand this system infinitely, because the way this works is the base has a security code that it shares with the handset when you put the handset on the base and hold the find button. So as long as a handset has that security code and sends it to the base doesn't care what the handset actually is or where it came from. It just needs to have that matching number. So I suppose, in theory, you could put 20 of these on the same base, which is kind of cool. And I don't understand why Uniden didn't actually sell them like that, or advertise them like that, because if they did, that would have been really ahead of its time to have a fully expandable telephone system back in the early 2000s, because they were just starting to come to the market at that point in time. And even then, a lot of them, even today, all the cordless phone systems have a limitation of like 6 or 12 handsets. If you want to put 50 handsets on this, I don't see why you couldn't. So produced an interesting discovery that these telephones, you can really, I guess you can register as many as you want to the base, and it makes sense. I just never really thought about it before. So the bottom line is, though, somewhat disappointing in the sense that these telephones are not a rare model, they're not anything exotic. It's a regular old -2 set. For whatever reason, this third handset has been thrown in the mix and was used with it, and it worked just fine. So anyways, that's kind of interesting. But alright, so that's it. Just for purposes of curiosity, I will call them up just so you can see them all ring. Just gotta plug in the test line here. Should have done this prior to the video, but oh well. So you'll see each handset should receive this just fine. Yep, it looks like it is working perfectly fine. So that's really interesting, an interesting discovery. While it may not be a particularly interesting telephone in this video, I suppose this video, or this purchase of these telephones, did reveal an interesting discovery.